Bystanders caught in the crossfire. Trapped in a store, police and SWAT teams out in force. Officers on the rooftops tonight. An officer is dead, a father of 5. 3 people in the store killed. Police rushing to get bystanders' children out of harm's way. The other major news tonight, Democrats revealing formal articles of impeachment against President Trump. They allege abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. President Trump responding tonight. And how soon could the president be impeached? Tonight, the horror, that devastating volcano eruption, and we now hear from an American couple on their honeymoon who survived. Now calling home to the U.S., both badly burned, one unable to even hold the cell phone. The plane disappearing from radar, vanishing without a trace, 38 people on board, and what we've learned tonight. The major storm moving into the Northeast, heavy snow and rain for tomorrow morning's commute. Driving and flying in major cities will be affected. Ginger, timing it out. After that deadly attack at that U.S. Navy base in Pensacola, the gunman, a Saudi national. Tonight, more than 300 Saudi flight students at U.S. Navy bases halted from flying. Arthur Raditz standing by. And the incredible story of survival tonight. The father and his twin 4-year-old girls crashing down a 100-foot ravine. The 4-year-olds unbuckling themselves from their child seats on their own, crawling through shattered glass and up that ravine to get help.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with that deadly gun battle right outside New York City, killing a police officer and 3 innocent civilians trapped inside a store during the gunfight. The 2 suspects, the gunmen, are also dead tonight. SWAT teams in heavily armed vehicles rushing to the scene in Jersey City, New Jersey. Police moving through the streets. The attackers holed up in that supermarket, clearing the way for some of those bystanders outside to get out of harm's way. Some 30,000 children on lockdown for a time inside dozens of nearby schools. And tonight, that city already mourning that officer, a father of 5. ABC's Adrian Bankert leads us off from the scene tonight.
Tonight, a terrifying, deadly shootout on the streets of New Jersey. Heavily armed SWAT teams racing through the streets with guns drawn, 2 suspects unleashing a barrage of gunfire on officers.
Every time any approach is attempted or anyone comes out of cover, he opens fire.
The gunmen barricading themselves in the Jersey City supermarket, hostages trapped inside, innocent bystanders caught in the intense crossfire, thousands of rounds exchanged.
So we looked and then we saw all these cops running from the gunfire. We heard more. We heard like automatic weapons.
The neighborhood turning into a war zone. 1 officer was shot in the shoulder. 3 hostages were killed in the store, and another officer was also killed. He was a father of 5. 46 schools in the area were put on lockdown. 30,000 kids taking cover in their classrooms.
Then I heard gunfire, boom, boom, boom. And then after that, we just put our heads over our hands over our head.
The first shots rang out at 12:30 p.m. Early reports indicate that police suspect the shooting started as a drug deal gone bad. The suspects fleeing to that supermarket.
At this point, we have our officer down. We don't know how he was down, and a lot of officers out here out in the open.
The shootout lasted hours. A police helicopter and drone were seen overhead, officers scrambling on top of a roof to try and neutralize the shooters.
A lot of officers out here out in the open.
SWAT teams rescuing this woman. Witnesses say she'd been trapped inside her car in the middle of the firefight. Then moments later, several more running for cover with their hands in the air. The shooters killed inside the store after a neighborhood was under siege for more than 4 hours. Tonight, the lockout just lifted. Children looking to reunite with their parents, shaken by the horrifying day.
Scary, nerve-wracking, ready to leave. I can't do it no more.
Adrian Bankert with us live on the scene tonight. And Adrian, police now believe the suspects stole a U-Haul at some point, and the bomb squad is now investigating?
Yes, David, a team is actually looking into whether that vehicle contained a possible incendiary device. They believe that that truck is part of the crime scene. We do have some good news for you tonight. That officer shot in the shoulder has already been released from the hospital. David.
All right, Adrian Bankert leading us off tonight. Adrian, thank you. The other major news tonight, that historic next step in the impeachment showdown. Democrats putting forward 2 articles of impeachment. They allege abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi setting a solemn tone today, saying President Trump left them no choice, saying their oath of office requires them to impeach. The president reacting today, calling it political madness, saying he did nothing wrong. But the Democrats say the president abused his powers to obtain an improper personal political benefit, betraying the nation by enlisting a foreign power in corrupting democratic elections. So how soon could he be impeached? ABC's Terry Moran tonight up on the Hill.
A fateful step under Speaker Nancy Pelosi's watchful eye. House Democrats declare they will impeach President Trump.
The House Committee on the Judiciary is introducing 2 articles of impeachment charging the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, with committing high crimes and misdemeanors.
The 2 articles, those are the charges against the president: abuse of power in his dealings with Ukraine and obstruction of Congress. On abuse of power, the charge that Donald Trump ignored and injured the interests of the nation and betrayed the nation by abusing his high office to enlist a foreign power in corrupting democratic elections. On obstruction of Congress, the charge that Trump, without lawful cause or excuse, rejected every subpoena or request for evidence, the article declaring, in the history of the republic, no president has ever ordered the complete defiance of an impeachment inquiry.
No one, not even the president, is above the law.
Democrats are moving fast, some say too fast. Their answer to that today was stark.
The argument, why don't you just wait, amounts to this. Why don't you just let him cheat in one more election? Why not let him cheat just one more time?
The articles of impeachment concluding President Trump has demonstrated that he will remain a threat to the Constitution if allowed to remain in office.
We would be delinquent in honoring our oath of office if we did not impeach him for not honoring his oath of office.
Republican leaders are backing Trump to the hilt.
It is not difficult to defend this president, but it is very difficult to defend this Congress on what they have done, and history will not be kind to them.
So I asked him, does he defend the president's phone call with President Zelensky of Ukraine, asking Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden?
Do you agree with the president that that call was perfect? That's what we want presidents to do.
They just introduced 2 articles, and your question is about, is it perfect? No, the question is it impeachable? And the answer is absolutely no.
Late today, the president speaking out.
We did nothing wrong. There was absolutely nothing done wrong. I think it's a disgrace that people can make impeachment out of nothing.
So let's get to Terry Moran. He's live up on the Hill tonight. And Terry, the House now on track to impeach President Trump by the end of next week. They had said they wanted to do this before Christmas. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the Senate side, of course, already looking ahead to the Senate trial.
He is, David. Mitch McConnell says first, no trial in the Senate this year. That'll take place in January. He says it'll work like this. There'll first be opening arguments from representatives from the House of Representatives and the White House lawyers facing off over the charges. At that point, McConnell says the Senate could vote and end it. He is looking for a limited and orderly process. The White House, President Trump, seems to want a much longer process. We'll see who gets the upper hand here.
All right, Terry Moran up on the Hill tonight. Terry, thank you. And of course, all of this playing out today as President Trump took aim at his own hand-picked FBI director. Just 24 hours after FBI Director Christopher Wray told ABC News there was no deep state, no spying on the Trump campaign, a notion backed up by the Inspector General, finding no anti-Trump bias in the Russia investigation. The president was not happy with either of them. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
President Trump took aim at FBI Director Christopher Wray just 24 hours after Wray spoke with ABC's Pierre Thomas.
Do you have any evidence that the FBI targeted the Trump campaign unfairly?
I don't.
Wray was reacting to the internal Justice Department investigation that criticized actions of lower-level FBI officials, but concluded the probe of Russia and the Trump campaign was launched properly and without political bias. I don't know what report current director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, was reading, the president tweeted, but it sure wasn't the one given to me. Wray also rejected another frequent claim made by the president and his allies.
The FBI wasn't part of some deep state?
Well, I think that's the kind of label that is a disservice to the 37,000 men and women who work at the FBI.
The interview clearly didn't please the president, who tweeted, "With that kind of attitude, he will never be able to fix the FBI." It all comes on a day President Trump welcomed Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to the White House, tweeting out this picture from the Oval Office, saying election meddling was among the many issues they discussed. And Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said he delivered his own warning to Lavrov.
I was clear, it's unacceptable, and I made our expectations of Russia clear.
So let's bring in Jonathan Karl. He's live at the White House tonight. And John, you're learning more about that conversation in the Oval Office between President Trump and the Russian foreign minister?
David, the White House has put out an official statement about that meeting saying, quote, President Trump warned against any Russian attempts to interfere in United States elections. But just a short while ago, Lavrov himself spoke to reporters here in Washington and was asked directly about the White House statement. And Lavrov said this, quote, we haven't even actually discussed elections. So two very different interpretations about what happened in that meeting tonight.
Conflicting reports tonight. John Karl on the breaking headline. John, thank you. And next, the deadly volcano eruption in New Zealand. New reporting tonight. 8 Americans known to be on the island at the time. Tourists speeding away from the smoke and ash. At least 6 dead from this. And among the injured, an American couple. They were there on their honeymoon. And tonight right here, you will hear the husband's call to family back home. Both of them burned badly. The new husband could not even hold the cell phone. And tonight, questions about how tourists were allowed on that island when the volcano risk was so high. ABC's Marcus Moore now on the scene in New Zealand for us.
Tonight, with the death toll from Monday's volcano eruption rising, hope is fading that survivors will be found. 47 people, including 9 Americans, were on Whakaari volcano Monday when it erupted, ash soaring 12,000 feet into the air. Some forced to jump into the sea. Father and daughter Jeff and Leilani Hopkins used their tour boat to rescue as many as they could.
We had 23 on the boat that we had. And 5 of those are now deceased.
Lauren and Matthew Uri from Richmond, Virginia, were on their honeymoon. Matthew's mother sharing the voicemail. She says her son left with Inside Edition.
This isn't a joke. The volcano actually erupted while we were on the island. Lynn and I got pretty badly burned, so we're at a hospital in New Zealand. My hands are burned, so I can't use my phone.
And that is White Island in the distance, about 30 miles off of the shoreline here. And more than a day after that deadly eruption, steam is still rising into the air. According to officials, Americans are among the 8 still missing on the island. But police say a flyover Monday showed, quote, no signs of life. A makeshift memorial is growing tonight.
To those who have lost or are missing family and friends, we share in your grief and sorrow, and we are devastated.
And David, police here in New Zealand have launched an investigation into this tragedy, and the alert level was raised just a few weeks before the eruption, but officials said that it was safe to go there on the volcano. But police say it is possible that criminal charges could be filed at some point. David.
All right, Marcus Moore reporting in from New Zealand. And from South America tonight, the search for any possible survivors after a military cargo plane disappeared on its way to Antarctica. 38 people were on board the Chilean Air Force C-130, like this one here, on a 3-hour flight over open water from Chile to Antarctica. Officials fear it crashed right into the icy waters. The military is now using ships, planes, and satellites to help in their search. Back here at home tonight after that deadly rampage at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola by a member of the Royal Saudi Air Force. The Pentagon tonight is now ordering a review of the vetting procedures for foreign military students here in the U.S., and they're no longer allowing more than 300 Saudi flight training students here in the U.S. to fly, at least for now. And here's ABC's Martha Raddatz.
The 303 Saudi flight students now grounded are spread between 3 Florida naval bases, Pensacola, the scene of the deadly shooting, nearby Whiting Field, and Mayport Naval Air Station. Among the more than 800 Saudi military in the U.S. who will now be restricted to only classroom instruction. All part of the Pentagon's formal review of vetting processes for the training program. This action follows new revelations about the Saudi officer responsible for the shootings. The FBI retracing that officer's final days, including a sightseeing trip to New York. Sources tell ABC News that back in Pensacola, he showed friends videos of mass shootings and posted an anti-American rant on Twitter right before he killed 3 sailors and wounded 8 others on the base.